What's up? What's up? Hello orchid fans, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I've got a marathon repot to do. I've got quite a few orchids here, so let's just get right in. So as I'm unpotting them, I'm just gonna kind of give you a bit of the background, what the orchid is and why I'm repotting it. So this one here, this is my poor Pleurothallis dilemma, and I really don't know what to do with this orchid. So it's growing roots really well. It's a cold or cool grower, and I think that's why I'm struggling with it. I'm not sure. So my last course of action is I'm actually gonna put it in leca, because leca is supposed to give it a cooler kind of environment in the pot, which hopefully, you know, will be enough to kind of give this orchid a bit of a cool down, and it will, you know, get growing better. As you can see, it's in bloom as well. It's got two beautiful flowers on the older growth. So it looks like it's kind of, I don't know if you could call it a sequential bloomer, but it does bloom from the same growth multiple times, which is amazing, because at least I get to see new flowers even if it doesn't produce new growths. Although I really wish this orchid gave me some new growths, because I don't know how many more new growing points it's gonna have, you know, if it will keep aborting those new growths. So let's get it out the pot. Let's see what is in there. So the pot is absolutely soaking wet. I only watered this orchid yesterday, I think. So, and I absolutely drown it in water. But look at the roots. The roots are looking really good. Let me see if I can get the support out before I break the orchid with it. So yeah, the roots are growing pretty well. And there is a lot of ceramis in here to kind of keep that humidity, keep that water. What I like to do with it, you can see there is moss growing at the base. I think I'm gonna keep that moss and you know, kind of let it expand in the new pot, even on, you know, on the leca. I think it would do really nice. Again, just to kind of boost the humidity as much as possible. Some of these roots have actually grown right through the microfiber cloth, so I'll just keep that microfiber like this. Hopefully I'll be able to either put it through the holes at the bottom of the pot, or if not, I'll think of something. I'm sure I'll be able to put it through, because I don't really want to have another microfiber in the pot. I'll keep it in the 9-centimeter pot. Yeah, I'm super confused about this orchid. It's not growing well at all. If this one dies, I'm definitely not gonna get another dilemma, because they seem to be cooler growers than I initially thought. Because I've got a couple Masdevallias, and I changed their setup a little bit now, so I'm growing them all, including this one and my Masdevallias. I grow them on the windowsill, and I keep the window open as much as I can. And I also close the curtains at night, and I keep the thermometer on the windowsill just to kind of monitor. Oh, I think there is actually another new growth hidden underneath. So you see where this new growth is. You can maybe just about this new growth right here and at the front. So, oh gosh, I really hope this one makes it. So I'll do the best I can by it, and I'll just have to let it do its thing and hope that it will actually have enough will to live to do better in leca. Okay, so I won't fuss too much with it anymore. I'll just wash it off under the tap afterwards and we can put it in leca. Okay, next up, this is my Dendrobium Berry Oda. Fairly recent addition to my collection. I got this as a gift, and gosh, it's just an amazing plant. I mean, oh, and by the way, I finally got my labels printed out, so they're looking a lot better now. It is an active growth right now. There is actually flower spikes as well on the existing canes, so I can't wait to see it bloom as well. But that's another one I want to put in leca because I think it's actually gonna like kind of getting more fertilizer, because my plants that grow in leca, they get more fertilizer, mainly because you know, I leave water in the tray, and as it kind of gets absorbed throughout the pot, it's the fertilized water aren't plain, so hopefully it will get better feed. I'm just trying to be extra careful. I've got this root coming through the pot here, and it's got an active root tip, so I really hope... Oh, it broke. Oh, shame. I was really hoping to save it, but never mind. I mean, this pot is full of roots and they're all active roots. So the previous owner of this plant had it in bark, and there is a sphagnum moss layer at the bottom, and looks like this plant absolutely loved it. So yeah, I'm sure it will like being in leca. I think I'll maybe also put it in a 12 centimeter pot because it's already got so many roots. You see, the bark is not even falling out. So let's see if I can get in there through the back and get all this out. But gosh, the root system is branching so much as well. So yeah, I hope it will forgive me for the repot, for disturbing it, and it will keep pushing those spikes out, and of course the new growths. I mean, berry odas in general are really vigorous plants, and I love that, but at the same time, that's what kind of stopped me from getting this plant as well, because, you know, initially, because I know it's gonna be duplicating in size or doubling in size every season, and I don't know if I'll be able to accommodate it, you know? So that's why I've kind of, you know, I always kept it at the back of my mind that it's just gonna get super big, and it's just will outgrow my space pretty quickly. But I think what I'm gonna do with this one, I mean, the blooms are fragrant and it really blooms a lot, so I think what I'll do with this one, once it kind of gets really big, I think I'm gonna maybe take it into my living room and, you know, just find a nice spot there next to the southern facing window where it can get really good sun, and I'll just grow it there. But for now it can stay in my shelves. It's still small enough for that, although once I move it in a 12 centimeter pot, I don't know if I'll be able to actually put it on the shelf, so we'll see. Some of these roots here are a little bit tired. They do seem quite firm though, at least some of them, but once they go into leca, I'm pretty sure they will probably die off, so I might actually take them off. I mean, I have so many roots here. I'd rather take off the old and tired roots and let, you know, the rest of the plant the rest of the roots to have enough room to grow, and there won't be any dying roots soon in the pot, so I think that would be good. But yeah, there's a lot of bark here and I can't easily get it out of this plant, so I'll just try and wiggle it a little bit. I've got 5 plants to repot, so I really don't want to spend too much time on every single plant because it's gonna take me forever and it's already late afternoon, so I need to keep up the pace. That's a Berry Oda. So third one, this is my Prosthechea garciana. I just did a video on it and it was obviously still in this pot, but you're actually gonna see the repot video before you see the other one. So yeah, don't freak out. I just wanted to film it before I repot it, so that in case the bloom drops off, and then I won't get the chance of filming it in bloom. So, but basically it's got a lot of nubbins. I just recently got this plant and I'm pretty sure it's probably fairly recently divided and potted in here, so I don't think we will see loads of new roots in here, although it's actually looking really good. A lot of new grow tips, so I think this is the perfect timing for this orchid to move into a different setup. So many grow tips on the roots, and then we've got this new growth with a bunch of new roots, so that's fantastic. I can also see that this orchid is a serious climber, so I don't know how I'm gonna accommodate this, but we're just gonna have to work with it and see what happens. So you've probably saw that majority of this bark just fell off on its own. The styrofoam, that is a sign that Burnham Nurseries spotted this orchid up themselves. So it's not a, even if it was, you know, imported from somewhere else, they must have repotted it, because that's how they do it. They always put styrofoam pieces at the bottom of their pots. So yeah, pretty decent root system, but you can see this is a serious climber. So this is the oldest new growth here, and it goes all the way down to here. And then the next growth, which is this one on the other side, that came out from, like, you know, there is a good inch of the rhizome below it. And then this new growth that is blooming, that again came up from about an inch from the base of the plant. And now the same with this new growth that I've got here, the mountain, an inch up. So that is a serious climber. I'm thinking to maybe cut off this rhizome at the very bottom. I will lose a few roots with it, but I don't think it's a big deal because it has, you know, it's got a lot of other new roots, plus I've got more new roots coming. So, but that means I can kind of pot it deeper into the pot, which I think is actually more important than saving a few roots. So I'm not really losing that much, so I'm okay with that. That will just give me a little bit more room to play with. Some of these roots are tired and dead, so I'm just peeling the velamen off. It's just sliding off pretty easily on its own, so I'll do that rather than cutting off all the roots. I've still got a decent amount of good roots, so I'm not worried. But yeah, I want to take the development off the ones that are dead so that we just don't end up with loads of dead material in the leca, and so we don't have to repot it very soon. Okay, so let's do this one. This is my Dendrobium nobile, NoID. It was a keiki that came off the mother plant. The mother plant has gone to someone else now, and I kept the keiki. Look at this root system at the bottom of the pot. Do you think I'll be able to get those roots out without breaking them? I don't think so. Gosh, this is just a huge mass of roots. I feel like I need to just cut them all off. Well, gosh, this pot is just solid. I'll just try and pull it out as it is and see how many roots actually come out, but the rest are gonna break. And I know this sounds very cruel to break so many roots, but this orchid produces its roots really quickly, so I'm really not worried. And it's also got another keiki here, so I'm just trying to loosen up those roots here because some of them have grown out of one hole into another hole, so you know I can't easily pull this plant out of the pot. So but yeah, this one produces roots like crazy, so this one is gonna go into a 12 centimeter pot as well, because obviously a 9 centimeter pot is way too small for it. But even if I lose all these roots here, I'm confident it will regrow them pretty quickly, so that's why I'm not really that worried that you know, I'm gonna lose so many roots at the bottom of this pot. Even though I know it sounds cruel and really bad, but it will be okay. Okay, let's try and pull it out. It's not really budging at all. I'm just, you know, I don't want to pull this out and then the roots will stay in the pot, you know, just so I'm trying to kind of save these roots down here. So I might need to just cut them all off and save the rest. Turn away if this, you know, if you can't watch this. I know it's horrible. I wouldn't do that if I could. I know a lot of people, you know, quite like to just kind of break their pots and, you know, try and save the roots. I don't know, I'm a bit kind of, you know, I don't think this is a good idea, because when you're trying to break the pot, you will damage those roots as well. I mean, you know, think about it. You're gonna have to break the plastic around the root. So the plastic is a lot harder than the root. So as you're breaking that plastic around the root, you're gonna be moving this root all over the place. So it's very likely it's just gonna break anyway, or you will damage it quite a lot. And then in a couple months time, that root will die off, and then, you know, you destroyed the pot to save those roots, but actually, you know, you probably damaged them in the process anyway. So, you know, that's why I never break the pot. Here we go. Perfect. I wish I kind of done those repots, you know, one per weekend or something like that, so that I didn't have to do this big marathon. But I am so busy at work right now. It's absolutely crazy. I work most weekends as well as, you know, Monday to Friday, so I don't really have any free time. So that's why I kinda didn't have the time to really repot the orchids up until now, and now I feel like I've got some free time, so I'll just do them all because probably next weekend I'm gonna be working again, so I don't know if I'll be able to work on my orchids a lot. I'm gonna have to cut a lot of roots here, guys, because I'm not gonna be able to get any leca into the pot, and I need that leca, you know, to go everywhere. I need to pack it in really well so that it touches, you know, the pebbles touch each other so that it can wick the water throughout the whole pot. And I mean, this big root mass here is just not gonna let me to push any leca in, so a lot of these roots are gonna have to go, unfortunately. Okay, last but not least, this actually has been soaking here. This is my Cattleya Green Emerald Orchid Queen. So I actually put it, you know, this was in this pot here full of water, but also I put the whole thing in the bucket to try and get the roots hydrated so that they're hopefully a little bit more flexible. And I was going to try and put them in the pot. I think maybe these two can go in the pot. I think I actually broke this one here when I was trying to push it into that bucket, so I'll maybe just cut it off and then try and get the rest into the pot. And yeah, it's got a lot of roots here. I think there are some dead roots in here too, so I'm just cutting off the supports so that I don't try and get this plant out of the pot when it's still tied up. So let's see. When I got this plant, it basically had no roots here, and it had two more canes that I separated from the plant, and I basically potted it up in the middle because I thought, you know, the back of the plant might try and shoot out a new growth. So I thought, you know, rather than kind of pushing it all the way to the back of the pot and then having a new growth there, I'd rather just put it in the middle. If it decides to push out a new growth, there is room for it. It didn't do that, so now I know, so I can actually push it to the back of the pot. And that's what I'm gonna do. It developed this new growth here with two leaves, and now I've got another new growth coming out right there. So I think, again, this is a good time to move it into, you know, to repot it. And a lot of people grow their Cattleyas in leca, and apparently they really like it, so I thought I'll try that as well. I was a little bit, you know, hesitating to move Cattleyas into leca because they really like to have a distinct, you know, wet-dry cycle, I think. So to me, kind of big bark seems to be working better for that. But on the other hand, they are very high feeders. What's in the pot and can I get it out? But yeah, when I got this plant, it had no roots at all, and it was sitting doing nothing forever. So it got me really worried. And then I started seeing some roots coming out, and they were all trying to grow. I'm gonna have to break this root because there is no way I'm gonna be able to. Gosh, this is so chunky, I can't even pull it off. So yeah, and all these roots, you know, the new roots, when they started coming out, they all tried coming out at the top of the pot and kind of, you know, started growing into the ear. So I gently work them into the pot so that they can actually get hydration and this plant has a chance of survival. And it seems like it worked. So I'm trying to just get this root through the pot if I can. It's probably already damaged pretty bad. So, given that this guy had no roots at all for the longest time, this looks pretty good. So it's got some algae as well on the roots. So some of these roots are really stuck to the media, but that's understandable. These roots are quite chunky, so obviously they're just gonna grab onto anything that they touch. But if there is 1 or 2 pieces of bark left, you know, I don't mind, it's not a big deal. But yeah, that's it unpotted. So I think it's pretty good, you know, a pretty good root system, and all these roots are alive and they're looking really good. So what I'll do, I think I'm just gonna maybe try and get rid of more of this rhizome here. It's not huge. Maybe I'll just leave it rather than opening up a wound. I think I'll just leave it as is. And yeah, so I'll get them all under the tap, I'll get them all washed. I think this video is gonna be pretty long already, so we're gonna pot them all up in the next video, which is gonna be part 2 of this repot marathon. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!